And today we have amazing guests. We have Thomas and Michelle. Um, these guys are running e-commerce business in Europe, in Germany, and they're members in our BBA program. And they have scaled their business to over $40,000 a month in sales. And today I'll be learning about their journey. I'll be learning how they did it so that everyone can learn and everyone can benefit from it. So thank you guys for joining me.
Yeah, thank you for having us. Very stoked for being part of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. If you guys can share your story, I mean, both on the, I mean, we'll get into business and then some personal side as well, how you guys met and stuff like that. But how you started in e-commerce?
So yeah, the idea was born like 1 year ago. We were 1 month in Croatia, and yeah, one evening, we were sitting at the beach and had like the talk about the future and what we like want to accomplish, and yeah, like there was the idea of ecom. So
So just like that, like did you have like any inspiration like in the past from like other people who've done e-commerce that you knew or something like that?
I mean, I saw the potential that come with ecom, and I studied at the university,
Hmm.
business administration, and I was specific in the field of marketing. So I knew that I wanted to be like
In
that
this field.
in this field,
Yeah.
yeah. And yeah.
I mean, for me, from my side, when we go back a little further, I always like had like a thought that I wanted, yeah, to be part of something bigger. So after school, I we have to make like military service or community service,
Oh,
and
interesting.
in Austria, yeah. I choose to work at the Red Cross, and yeah, so I had not really a clue what to do with my life. So I was pretty sure that I was going to university, but not like what should I study. So I decided to study economics, um, and yeah, I was always like watching Shark Tank on the television, and yeah, I always knew that I wanted to build something. And then I was like, one day I ran into an ad of like a guy that escaped the 9 to 5, and so yeah, I was like part of this community like early on in 2020,
Hmm.
and that at university I had a course about information technology, and that firstly I first heard of Google Ads, and I was really interested in that.
Uh-huh.
So a few days after that, I did like a trainee program about search engine optimization, so SEO. So I was
Hmm.
just writing blogs, um, and then after the trainee program, I decided to step up, and I also saw an ad about like running a social media marketing agency. So that was like when I first started to get into entrepreneurship.
Hmm.
Um, at first, I was just selling websites to small and medium-sized businesses. So I just called them and like
We're
sold.
we're back in Austria.
Yeah, just in Austria.
Uh-huh.
Um, yeah, I just sold websites on the phone for
Uh-huh.
local small businesses. But then I started to recognize that those businesses, like a carpenter or painter or transport businesses, they don't need customers. They need employees, so people. So that's when I first started like a social recruiting agency. So I run ads for them and get got them people. So that's when I first made like good profits. So I was doing pretty decent while still at university. Like I would say an average like 2K profit a month.
Hmm.
So at university, so it was still very cool for me. So yeah, And then, as Michelle mentioned, like 1 year ago, she was like pretty finished with her university and didn't
Hmm.
know what to do.
Yeah, I was kind of lost.
Yeah, so we just did mind map, and like e-commerce was one with the most potential, and
Hmm.
also like what we were both most interested in. And so she decided, yeah, she would try it out. I'm having still like my agency on the side. um, and yeah, like we started literally last year on Black Friday with our first
Oh
ad.
wow.
Yeah, we bought in course from like German guys that isn't, to be honest, like so detailed as is yours. Uh, and so that's when we started, like literally on Black Friday. We worked until, I don't know, 2 in the morning the first day before, so we can start running the Black Friday ads. Um, and yeah, that's like the background story of how we came to ecom.
Nice. So you've had kind of like brief experience with like you've been exposed to different opportunities like online, this like online world, right? Which has so many different aspects, right? As you said, like you can run like search media, social media agency, right? You can run e-commerce business, like you can run FBA. So you mentioned that when evaluating all of these different opportunities, you decided to stick with e-commerce or decided to choose e-commerce. So what was the kind of like the thought process behind that, where you knew kind of like different venues, right? You could probably like, okay, maybe you should scale your agency, right? Or do some other kind of business, but you decided to do e-commerce. What was the thought process behind it?
I mean, from my side, I've never been like the best salesman. I'm like an introvert, so I hated cold calling people, and I always like loved running ads and
Hmm.
like building landing pages. So ecom probably is like more fulfilling for that. Um, and yeah, probably also has like the most potential, and I always like get targeted on Facebook and TikTok from guys that, yeah, doing numbers on Shopify, at least
Hmm.
they say so. So yeah, it was always something that like was inside of me, I guess.
Hmm.
um, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say at the moment.
Yeah, I think we both figured out that it has the most potential
Hmm.
from, yeah, like a
And
lot
it.
of risk, but we also, or at least from my experience, I also like had some experience in running ads, building
Mhm.
landing pages. Maybe that was something that we could, yeah, have the base of it. Yeah.
Definitely. And it's also, by the way, Instagram here. We are with our clients, Thomas and Michelle, and they're talking about their story. They're doing 40K per month with their e-commerce business. So I just didn't give like a proper intro, but here we are. So, okay, so you started that, which I think kind of like brings to the point of playing to your strengths and weaknesses, right? Like with different um, business models, which I think is important to understand. Like you said, you're not good at some particular kind of like aspects of business, or maybe you just need more practice, or maybe it's not something that you feel the most comfortable with. But at the same time, you feel good about other aspects of business. Now, all of that, for people listening, especially for people that are just starting out, I think it's good. It's a good kind of like to remember that, let's say you're like, 18 years old, right? And you don't know what you like, what you don't like. We're all kind of like learning about ourselves as we grow up, and as we getting older. But I think it's important to experience different things, right? So even having that experience of running an agency showed you that you don't enjoy certain things, right? Or would make you kind of, let's say when you run an agency and you have to call to get clients. On the other side, when you do e-commerce and you you just simply run certain, you just run ads, right? And people buy your product, they never see your face, you never have to talk to them, right? Like you can build everything behind the scenes and build a successful business. That just gives you the kind of like, I guess, the even like the gratitude for the opportunity, because you can build such a such a business that you don't even have to show your face. And I think having those like different experiences, whether those are, sometimes the experiences are people, maybe people watching, maybe they're looking to get into business, they're afraid to fail, right? And the way I look at it, every experience is a good experience, right? Even if it was like a bad experience, you probably learned something. You probably learned about something about yourself. You probably learned something about what you like or you don't like, right? And moving forward, those learnings will help you to make better decisions in the future. And so I think it's kind of like, maybe for you guys it's kind of like it's been like journey, you try different things, but for me, like, listening to your story, it's so clear that it's important to try different things, right? Like, and for people watching, if you guys are afraid to start a certain business, start it. You'll learn something in the process. You'll get some skills in the process, right? Like even running ads, like you learn about that from the other business, and now you apply the same skills to your e-commerce business. And it's kind of like all of those things are interconnected with each other. And I think it's very, very important to realize that we all obviously looking for a perfect path, perfect business model. We're all looking for that perfect kind of like journey, right? But building a business, it's often like this, and you go like from here, oh, it's like and then sometimes you step back, and sometimes you go around, and sometimes you find a solution, right? Sometimes you need to connect with some people to learn something, and that's inevitable. And no matter what stage of business you're in, like even in our business right now, I wish it was always like this, right? Sometimes our business slows down, we have to learn something, we have to build some new systems, we have to hire some new people, we have to learn some new skills that we don't have, and only then business continues to grow. So just having those expectations up front, then when you're getting into business, I think it's great, but overall it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a roller coaster, like every day, like no matter what business you're in, the highs are very high, the lows are very low. So, I mean, you get used to it, but yeah, but you not really get used to it. So,
And it's good, if you guys, we're running business with my wife too, and it's great when you have a partner that is supportive, that can support you like through those. So sometimes it's like tough moments, right? And sometimes you have to overcome certain fears. Sometimes you have to overcome certain like challenges that you face. But as long as you're like united on that journey, and you see the potential, you see the end at the end of the light at the end of the tunnel, right? You see what's possible on the other side, then you continue pushing, because at the end of it, like, it will be worth it, right? Like, you put few years into it, you built you built your financial future, it will be completely, totally worth it.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
think like we really complement each other with like the strengths and weaknesses. So Michelle like is still part-time working as an accountant.
Hmm.
So when she finished in university, she started as an accountant, which is very helpful for us.
Yeah.
And like I have with the marketing background, so it's also like very helpful. So yeah, it's good to have, I think, like separate tasks that you
Yeah.
do and that you get into, that you specialize and be the best in it. Um, yeah,
100%. It's such a good point, because it's any successful business, like you take like Airbnb, right? Or you take Facebook, or you take Google, right? There's usually few founders, right? And they have complementary skill sets that other founder doesn't have, and that's what makes those business successful, at least like initially, when there's only so much time. You didn't have like a lot of resources, you don't have a lot of money, there's many things to get done, and certain things are better done by different people. And so when those responsibilities get divided, and I see so many people even in our community where the partners with complementary skill sets, they crush, right? They just like, okay, let's say one person is more like on the operational side of things, another person more on the marketing side of things, right? But they complement each other. One person takes care of just making sure the product sells, and then the second person making sure that the business, stays operational and functional and profitable and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's pretty much how we operate. On
Good,
point, yeah.
good stuff. So, what you have done, guys, I mean, I'm thinking about this like from the perspective of, so you're doing about $40,000 per month, right?
Yeah.
So $40,000 per month, I mean, that's quite good. That's quite good numbers, right? For someone who just came in, right? Like 1 year in the business, right? I mean, it's already decent size traction that you have, right? Obviously, it's always can be better, right? Obviously, you probably have very ambitious goals. You're probably itching to do like 100K per month, 500, 1 million per month, right? It is inevitable, right? But at the end of the day, like that, that progression, the way I see it, it's been like 1 year getting to 100K, 40K per month is pretty significant. So what were the major kind of like, how long did it take you to have that initial success where it's, let's say maybe your first profitable months, your first kind of like decent sized months, like how long did it take you?
Um, we started in BBA in like mid or end of December. So we are in BBA about 10, 11 months. So we had first success after pretty much 2 months. We really
In March, yeah, I think.
in March. So we were very ambitious. We really wanted to get the best out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So after 2 months, we found our first winning product and scaled it to 1K a day.
Mm-hmm.
Had some issues with the ad accounts, and then we couldn't really make it profitable anymore. So then we were like on a long drought again, like 3, 4 months. We were
Mm-hmm.
like constantly testing new products, new things, new landing
New stores,
pages,
yeah.
new stores, learning a lot. Like on every product, every store that you are testing, you always like learn something. You increase like, I don't know, the design, like the angle, the copywriting, and yeah, after like then 4 months, so we found like our now winning product and winning
In July, I think.
in July. Yeah. Um, so it takes some time. So we went like 6 months with like just working and
Figuring
learning,
stuff out, yeah.
yeah, figuring stuff out. Like there are a lot of problems on the way, so you have to think about it. But yeah, as an entrepreneur, you're like in the business of solving problems like all day. This is like how we operate. So every day is a problem, you solve it, okay, then you step up and get to the next level.
Mm, such a good point. I don't know if you watched interview we've had with Marek, one of our clients, and it was exactly the same way for him. Like when he first had this success, right? Then obviously there was like some flaws in the business model itself, right? So he took the business to like $1 million per month, right? So he got to 100. I think he was at 100K per month. Then he joined ESS, our community. Like we've helped him to obviously, he's a very smart entrepreneur. So he scaled it to 1 million, 1 million per month. But then, just because of the flaws of the business model, right, he had to like make the pivots, right, and adjust and build the better business like in the first place, right? Because there's certain things that you can kind of like hack your way around, right? And just kind of like, as you said, right, you had issues with banned ad accounts, right? Maybe you kind of like on more aggressive side of things, right? Maybe you just kind of like, or maybe you're doing certain things that you shouldn't do, right? But either way, you learn from that experience, and that experience moving forward, even if it takes like few months, allows you to become better entrepreneur. So now Marek does, very decent numbers. He has like 6 million per month, very, very great numbers. But as part of that learning experience was him going like and like pretty much scaling his business and then almost like getting it to the ground, right? The same was for us, like for our businesses too. It's many times we would do certain like mistakes, but we would learn from those mistakes, and then next time we recover, we just do it a lot better. So I think it's also part of the journey that people have to kind of like as we chatted, like it's part of the journey that people have to understand and embrace, that um, it's something that you cannot avoid. Like those like ups and downs of entrepreneurship, that's something that just part of the journey, and you have to accept it.
Yeah, I mean, I watched also the interview, and one thing that he said stuck with me. So you have to get in a room with people that are like 10 times bigger as you. So
Mm,
these are like communities like BBA or I don't know what else. So when you're into these communities, you naturally, when you're competitive,
yeah.
as he said, you want to get there so as fast as possible, and you put in the work. So I think that's like also like a great way to or to see it, that just go into rooms where the people are like way ahead of you. So yeah.
Mm, for sure. So we have a question here. What does Thomas and Michelle do? So what do you guys do?
We run an ecom brand in Germany, and are located in Austria. So we are running ads on Facebook and TikTok to sell online
Cool. So what niche you guys are in?
in the health and sleep niche.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's very like very evergreen, like problem oriented. There's we also like in a beauty space, so it's like house beauty. I mean, those niches are like evergreen, right? As long as you know how to like market your product, as long as you know how to be innovative with your product, as long as you know how to differentiate your product from other products that have been there before, or maybe just differentiated by the marketing. Sometimes the product would be the same, but the way you market it and the angles and the positioning of the product is different. Sometimes just by doing that, you can have the competitive advantage. So um, it's probably not the easiest one. So what was the kind of like the why you decided to go into that particular niche?
Um, we somehow started with that niche.
Uh huh.
Well, not really started, but like one of our like first bigger success stories was in that niche. And then we came back to it, and um, we are probably, yeah, we are like probably also the target audience
Oh,
of
nice. So
product
you
or
understand
store.
how to talk to your audience.
Yeah, because like we have like, let's say, pretty high conversion rate, which indicates that we can really feel what the customer is experiencing. Um, and yeah, so that's probably how we got into it. But one thing like I wanted to mention is that it's very important to understand the customer, to understand
Mm,
your target audience, and to understand the skill copywriting. Because in like the first video that you where you are talking about yourself, or
Introduction.
the introduction videos, you said like one book that you recommend, and it's Breakthrough Advertising. So I recommend, I can remember it. And after like some months, I saw someone giving away, yeah, a free PDF of it, and this literally changed like, yeah, our business.
nice.
Because yeah, I read it like two times. I like summed it up in a document, and I read it again, like the summary. So I think this book can really change the way your business is going. So yeah.
Nice. Nice. All right. So yeah, anyone? Okay, we'll give away one book. So anyone who wants a book, just go on my Instagram and comment like breakthrough advertising. Just DM me breakthrough advertising, and we'll send you the book. This is my Instagram. So um, yeah, I think this book is life changing. So um, how did you like? Okay, so are you running like via sales? Are you running like longer format ads or like shorter?
Just like, yeah, landing pages, I
Uh
would
huh.
say. So no advertorials or something.
Uh huh.
So, but I think it's just important to know, yeah, what how should be the headline, for example, or what
Hmm.
to how to make a hook, and like just some basic stuff that like literally nobody is talking about, almost. And yeah, so that's what stuck with me.
Nice. And so, okay, so you started in that niche, and so you came back to it as well. So when it comes to like your advertising, like on a tactical level, like so you run like image ads or video ads right now?
Video ads. Yeah. I have the pleasure to be in partner with like a very good UGC creator.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, that's our basic thing. Like if you're like two people, you really can easily make good content. Um, Way more easier as when you're alone, of course,
Yeah.
and test like a lot of more content than when you are like have to go on Fiverr and get a UGC creator or something. So that I think was like one advantage that we had. Uh, and yeah,
Nice. And so, I mean, all of your content is unique, right? That's also like that's a big advantage because most of the times, I think it's a big lesson here. It's a big lesson because overall, like creative is I mean, the biggest factor, right, in the success of the ads. Either it's on TikTok, either it's on um, on Facebook, and the way I see it, right? So breakthrough advertising again, guys. DM me on Instagram, like one. I'll just choose like one random person. I'll send it the book. Just DM me breakthrough advertising, and um, or comment. No, comment here on live. Comment breakthrough advertising. Send it the book. So when it comes to that, right? So the copy, right, and understanding your customer
mm,
is that one aspect of business that cannot be neglected, right? A lot of time people just like researching customer, let me just copy what my competition does, like let me copy their ads one to one, let me copy their ads, let me copy their ads one to one. Let me copy their landing pages one to one. Let me copy like everything they do one to one. Let me steal their videos, right? Let me run with those, right? And obviously, it's a very it's a very short-lived kind of like approach. So what I was, what I would encourage, as you said, like, okay, you break it down, right? How do you research your customers? How do you like, okay, so let's say you're in this pain niche, sleep niche, right? You understand the problems of your customer on some level, right? What extra research did you do specifically to kind of like understand their pains and kind of the messaging even better?
first of all, I mean, of course, use AI for that, for just the basic understanding. We had the pleasure, or had like a tool that I was using, a German tool for landing pages, and they are having a lot of documents about also like market research. So like just some basic stuff like what the problems, what are the dreams of the customers, and so on.
Yeah, like
Also
make a persona.
like make a persona. It's also talked about in BBA, so we really did that. What is talked about in the course, um, and we also did a survey at the end. So when someone bought, he can get
Mm-hmm.
a discount code when they like
Fill out the
fill out the
survey.
survey.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
so we asked again, why did they even bought? Why did they
Almost not.
almost not bought, and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. So that was like the first, I don't know, 100 products that we sold. We always did that. And I think it's also a lot of testing hooks and
And what kind of like insights did you get from it? Like maybe give me like an example. Like was there any like one insight that you got from it that's like, oh, gee, I didn't even think of that. Did you have any of those?
no, I think it's what more a confirmation what specific angle we are going to use
Mm.
for hooks. So that was like the major directions, because we asked pretty much why did they bought, and so the majority, or like more than half of the people bought because of a specific pain point, and then we used it in the hook. And I think it's a lot of testing and analyzing what is working. We also like did a lot of creatives on TikTok. We are like posting daily, like for the last 4 months on 3 or 4 different accounts. So we pretty much posted, I don't know, 400 videos in the last
Mm.
2 months. So we tested a lot of hooks and pain points
Oh,
and
nice. Did did,
small
Showstopper.
a- did
stoppers.
any of those like do well? Like, did any of those get like a lot of views?
The
Yeah.
first ones went, let's say, semi-viral, and like another one, like we got a few 100,000 organic,
Nice.
um, which was pretty nice. Yeah. Whenever like there is one specific video that gets a lot of traction, we use it as an ad, and if it converts well, okay, then we run it longer, of course.
Hmm.
Uh, so that's like our major process of testing angles and hooks and pain points. Um, yeah, so yeah.
Nice, nice. And so yeah, I wanted to mention here, right, as well that obviously the copy, right, like again, breakthrough advertising, guys, read it, comment, on Instagram, which is one person will send you the book, but the copy, right, copy research, one part of the process. Another part of the process, and something that you mentioned as well, that you have very good grasp on, is the creative, right, the visual part of the ad, right. So I mean, at the end of the day, if you have these like two skills, right? First, number one is like you really understand who you're selling to. Like you do the research, right? You know how to write copy to appeal to that particular person. And second, if you know how to demonstrate your product visually, how to demonstrate the benefits of your product visually, which is pretty much the creative part of it, right? If you have these two major skill sets, you will be able to build like substantial business, right? Obviously there's a back end, there's operation stuff like that, but on the front end, to get initial momentum, these are the two most important things that people should focus on. And what's important, I think, what you guys mentioned as well, and also I think that's one of the reasons why you're having great progress with your business, and also why you will have even greater, like we'll have another interview when you are like 100K per month and 1 million per month, is because the reps, right? Just the reps by itself. You mentioned how many ads you've posted on TikTok. How many of those posts you've posted on TikTok?
How many? I just had a look, at least like 300, 400,
300, right?
like on like several accounts. Yeah, so a lot.
And that requires, obviously, that requires tenacity. That requires like discipline, right? Which, again, running a business, no matter what size business, I mean, if you want to have like a bigger business, if you want to grow the business, this is like just inevitable part of that process, that you have to stay consistent and you have to put a lot of reps in, and also that not every single thing that you will try will work out, right? And so a lot of the times, people would post like on TikTok like 5 times, like, oh, my post is not viral, I'm not rich yet, okay, I'm switching, I'm going to another opportunity, I'm doing something else. And I think this is obviously, why people are not successful, because just amount of reps, just amount of that effort, right, is needed, that you have to put in. It's a lot higher than you think. And I think that's just important, again, when you get into the business, obviously you're excited, you want Lamborghini like tomorrow, right? And that's how these guys showing you on Instagram that you can have it like in few days. But most likely you will not have Lamborghini tomorrow, and most likely you'd have to like work your ass off for a substantial period of time until you get there. But the most important thing is that it will be worth it, right? The journey will be worth it if you commit to it. Again, commit to your business and it's hard, when you're starting off, like you don't know what works, what doesn't, you're not sure, right? You have limiting beliefs, and it's hard. And I know how it was, because I've been through that whole journey myself. And but kind of like keeping that in mind, that what is the alternative path, right? What is the alternative path? You can go get a job, right? Obviously you can just work 40 years, like whatever, 50 years, you can retire, right? You can have a retirement, go on vacation, like, and you know and that's most people's life, right? But if you're choosing this path, it's the road that's less traveled, right? There's this book, a very cool book by Felix Dennis. He's the founder of Maxim magazine. It's called Narrow Road, right? It's like very narrow road of like entrepreneurship. You're going like, there's like, obviously, very dangerous on both sides, and you kind of like trying to walk this to walk this path. But it's very inspiring to see you guys like executing consistently, right? And I think that's a key, no matter what level you're at. Like even successful businesses that stop focusing on just getting reps, right? Or athletes that maybe they became champions, right? You see those athletes, they became champions and they got relaxed, right? They stopped putting reps in, right? Yeah, it will be easy fight, right? And then boom, they're getting knocked out or something happens. And so that's why it's so important to get reps in, especially on the marketing side, on the business side, and that's exactly what you guys do. So, yeah, if you want to add something.
Um, yeah, I mean, there's just a one quote that I can remember. Like, momentum is very hard to get, but
Mm-hmm.
very easy to, yeah,
Lose.
to lose. So
Mm,
that's literally it, because you're working like days, weeks, months, and you see no results. But then results come. But if you if you just relax, then yeah, you will lose it again. So you have to be consistent. That's literally why we are daily posting videos on TikTok, for like, I don't know how many months. So
mm-hmm.
yeah, very, very important to be consistent.
Awesome. And so we had another question here. Did your first few sales give you enough data to focus your ads? Let me see. Trying to understand what this question means.
I think he mentions about the survey that we had about like which angle is working and which not. I think like the most important metrics of an ad is very good thought in BBA. There is the hook rate, or like click through rate, the conversion rate. There's all like stuff that if you're not in marketing or performance marketing, you don't know about. So you have
Mm,
to learn it. You have to know your metrics. That's like the most important thing. You know your KPIs, and then you can literally say if your ad is working or not, if your hook is working or not, if your landing page is converting or not. And so whatever like is not working, you can just adjust and then reevaluate, because you're testing again.
mm. Yeah, and I'll send you everyone on Instagram. Everyone on Instagram, just send me creative, and I'll send you this document. I'll just share it quickly on the screen. I have this document that I think would be valuable for people. This is from my friend. He runs creative. He runs like a creative agency. I don't know if you can see my screen. It's basically creative optimization document, guys. Like, so comment creative. Actually, not comment. Just DM me creative. DM me creative directly, and I'll send you this document. So it's basically hook rate, hold rate, basically how to set up all of these numbers, and also exact frameworks on how to fix these numbers if they're not where you want them to be, right? So pre-click, you want to focus on hook rate, hold rate, outbound CTR, the click rate on your ads, and then post-click, the major metrics that you want to focus on. So and also the major kind of like frameworks for creating the like different avatars and stuff like that. So yeah, just comment creative, guys, and my team will send it over, or I'll send it over to you. I think this is just so important to being like data driven. A lot of the times, we getting frustrated when things don't go our way, right? You're testing the product and it doesn't work, right? And or you do something, anything else, like you call 20 people, right, and no one picks up, right? Or you message 100 people and they don't respond, right? Okay, you can get frustrated. Okay, this doesn't work, right? Or maybe you need a different script, or maybe you need to call a different time of the day in order to reach them. And so having the data and making more like data driven decisions, I think is so crucial for again, for any size of the business. Either you're just starting out, or you have the test it, spend the first $100 on ads in your life, or maybe you're already running like 8-figure business and you want to figure out like why you cannot scale farther, or maybe some bottlenecks that's stopping you from scaling. So on each level, being data driven is so important. um, So okay, so you do that. Then do you do like funnels or you just do like Shopify?
Currently just Shopify. We had some look at tutorials, but yeah, didn't really test it yet, to be honest.
Uh-huh.
So yeah.
That yeah, we'll help you to crack it so that you guys can get to like 100K a month. Like that's the next benchmark. We have another call then. So, um, all right. So how do you like? So you guys are partners, right? And I think what's for me and my wife, like we obviously have our business and we work together, we run business together, we work with our team together, and obviously there's the business part of life, right? And there's the personal part of life, right? So how do the guys like, do you have any like frameworks to segment like personal and business, right? And not to have like one part impact another, and just kind of like have those like more or less like segmented.
So yeah, I mean, kind of like a lot of work right now, of course, in the last months. Yeah, I mean, like last summer, also this summer we went like 1 month on vacation. So we
Uh-huh.
worked just until lunch, and then um,
In
yeah,
the afternoon, we have
relaxed.
like, yeah.
So that's like the happy side of having like an online business. You can
Mm-hmm.
work wherever you want.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and like on regular weekdays we take off the time in the evening or in the night, so just like average just to watch some movies or some Netflix, and yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is so important, I think, because like as you grow in the business, it is important to, especially if you have like a family business, and not like maybe you guys are not married, but like with your girlfriend or boyfriend, it's important to kind of like not as you said, having those like times where you're spending time together, you're still taking care of your relationship, right? Because many people, they kind of just go all in on work, right? And they neglect their relationships, which I think also not long term, not sustainable, because family partners is what keeps us like motivated. It's also what provides like long-term success, fulfillment and stuff like that. So I think for that reason, what you guys do is perfect. Is like segmenting the time, having some time together as well, besides just running a business, obviously trying to do the best you can on the business side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool, awesome. So we have another question here. What are the steps you took for finding your winning product?
We did a lot of research on like different ad spy tools
Mm-hmm.
like ad spy, Mania.
Mania, yeah.
Yeah, also like a lot of on TikTok. So we tried, or we created an account where we are liking and saving videos
Mhm.
of winning products so that the algorithm is
Knows that we are looking for them.
genau, yeah,
Nice. Good
yeah.
stuff. Good
So
stuff.
you pretty much, as we scroll on this account, we always get like winning product ideas.
You have your own
And
spy tool. You have your own spy tool, right?
yeah, yeah. And I think like when you're in Europe, you also have the advantage to just look at the US market,
Mhm.
because they're always like
Before
one step
that,
ahead.
yeah.
And
Mhm.
maybe you have like some luck and you find a product that is not already being sold in Germany or Sweden or wherever, and you
Mhm.
just translate it and yeah, try it out.
Nice, nice. So that's how you found your product. You found your product in U.S. market. You translated to German market, and it went well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
there is always also already like a big competitor
Uh huh.
already doing it like for 3 years, but we
Uh
have
huh.
like just another angle for it.
Uh huh.
So as you always say, like product don't saturate, just angles do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
You guys actually watching the training. That's awesome.
yeah, we literally watched it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I think it's in those like in Europe. I mean, so there's so many markets, right? If you think about it. So last week we had a call with Mercedes. She's from Hungary, right? And she speaks Spanish. We're like, okay, you speak Spanish, right? Like, why don't you try Spanish market maybe, right? Like it could do well for you. And because she speaks, you speak the language, and now having the marketing skills, and especially, if you tried like advertising in US market, and if you honed your skills, right, at the end of the day, it's like what we just talked about, right? Those skills that you accumulate, those skills that you accumulate throughout this process, right? Like if you commit yourself to learning, to mastering this like craft, right? I see it as a craft, like you go to the like art, the artists, right? Like that's their craft. Like they do stuff, with their hands, or with their painting, right? I consider e-commerce is our craft, right? It's like there's different parts to it, there's different aspects, you can fine tune it, like you can like you look at the matrix, and it's like a symphony, it's like a symphony from the ad to the final. It's like it's like Mozart, right? It's like Vienna, right? So I don't know, maybe I'm just like, but I think finding passion in something what you do, and finding some interesting aspects about it, just makes you exciting, like to wake up every day, on one side. And the other side is, having, getting those skills in the process, right? Like on the practical side of things. So getting those skills and refining those skills as an artist, as an artist, as an entrepreneur, is so valuable. Let's say if you learn the skills like selling in US market, and then you take those same skills, you apply it to German market, right? Or even like you took the same skills from German market, and you decided to sell, I don't know, in Mexican, Brazil, and like other markets that don't have that level of competition, right? Maybe you speak another language, or someone who speaks another language, or maybe you just see the opportunity, or maybe you meet someone in the community, right? Like in our community, that does well in certain certain markets, and you decide to go in those markets. I think it's a tremendous, like it's a great arbitrage, right? Because you can, some markets are not as competitive, right? As you said, you have a competitor that advertises that for 3 years, and does well. In US market, you might have like 10 competitors, 20 competitors, 50 that are like doing pretty well, like advertise. So the level on which you have to operate is higher, right? So you have to be better marketer, better, entrepreneur, run business better. Your funnels need to be more optimized. You have to just like literally optimize every single part of the business in order to to have an edge. In other markets like Germany, I believe you still have the advantage of lower competition than, let's say, in US market. So on that side, is for everyone watching, just look at US market, see what's working, translate it, test it. Sweden is a great market. We have some clients doing like $600,000 per month just in Swedish market, you know. So yeah, it's crazy. Literally, yeah, they send me screenshots like $600,000 per month, like, and that was a few days ago. So not even like the whole. I think that's for this month. It's like 10 days. Yeah, it's crazy numbers. Like in Swedish market, Norwegian, obviously Dutch, Belgian, and all of those markets that are, you know, all of those markets that are not as saturated. So, all right. So we have another question here. Where you guys? Okay, I think we've answered this one. Where you guys found your winning product, and all right. So yeah, I think this is a great yeah. um yeah, I think you guys have answered this question. So yeah, how long you been in the program? So you've been in the program since December of last year.
Yeah.
And was there like a point where you're like, fuck that, like, it's just like, no, like, was there a point like,
Really giving up, it was never
No.
like,
no?
but a
Yeah.
lot of points where we were like very
Frustrated.
frustrated. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Go back to product research and
Mhm.
do it all over again. But
Yeah.
Nice.
But I think doing it all over again and again just teaches you a lot of stuff. Like as you mentioned, like in ecom in general, you learn copywriting, marketing, selling, so much stuff that you, yeah, can apply in the real world, or just even like about social media algorithms, how they
Yeah.
work, how you're getting programmed or whatever. So I think it's just, yeah, crazy.
Mm. Nice. And so did you have this second, like, so when you started to have traction again, Was it with the same product you've had that was the first time, or is it was different product?
It was a
Was-
different.
Yeah.
Different
Yeah.
product, yeah. In the same niche though, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, same
Kinda.
niche, kind of same niche.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting. So how would you say like how important is a product like from your experience, right? Like is it like 90% of success? Is it like 50% and 50% is marketing? Like from your own experience, like what where would you put it?
I
Mhm.
think most part the marketing, like the angle.
Yeah. Um, I mean, you can take it either way, I think, but
Uh-huh.
it should be like, of course, good quality product, and it should get people's attention. So I think the product is very important, but if you are like a good marketer, that's what we learned like from some of our mentors in BBA. If you're
Mm-hmm.
a really good marketer, you can almost um, have success with almost every product. Um, as
Yeah, and it's like not the typical drop shipping product, I think.
Yeah, I think should you should not be or try to be the average drop shipper. You have really to go deep into like psychology, copywriting. Just don't be like average. I think that's like the most important stuff. Don't
Mm-hmm.
just pick an average drop shipping product that like everyone is selling. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so that was just our principle to like think outside of the box
Mm-hmm.
um, regarding product research.
So Arnold is from Austria, right?
Yeah.
Do you guys like the whole country takes pride in him, like being Austrian, or like is there anything that you've taken from him, like any kind of issue, like kind of like any lessons, anything like that?
From who?
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh
Oh yeah.
yeah, I read his book. I mean,
Uh-huh.
um, he was born or lived like let's say half an hour ago where we are living,
Oh,
Oh
nice.
wow.
not away. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I think I mean for me it's like it's a role model, some kind of,
Uh-huh.
um, and yeah, I mean he's a guy. I don't know about you, so
For me, he's like an inspiration, but
yeah,
in a different kind of way, I think.
yeah,
Yeah, he's I mean, I think he's what he has accomplished is just like, yeah, inspires so many people, right? Like in terms of um yeah, just showing what's possible, like kind of like achieving excellence in different areas of first achieving excellence in bodybuilding, then achieving excellence in business, then achieving excellence in politics, which exactly what you said, that you don't want to be being like average, right? You don't want to like just like, yeah, I'll just rip some random like product from someone else. I'll rip their ads, like I'll rip their product pages. I'll rip, I'll send the same product. I'll not care about customer experience. I will not be like reinvesting back into my business. I'll just keep running this like business. I'll milk it. I'll buy a Lambo, and like I'll and just having those like very short term like average goals, I think is probably the biggest factor why people give up too early, right? Or even when they have success, they don't push it farther, right? Because they don't strive for excellency, right? And they just settle, yeah, I'm okay, right? I'm doing all right. And I think that's one of the biggest factors. So um on that side, it's like where do you guys like see yourself, like maybe like in a few years? Like, have you guys thought about like where you want to take this business, right? Either with this product, with other products, do you guys like kind of like have the longer term goals with this particular business?
with the business of ecom, I'm like, as Marek said, I think I'm also like a builder. I want to build like things,
Hmm.
even if somehow the product gets saturated or somehow we got to switch or start another ecom niche or brand again. Um, I'm just having fun doing it. So currently it's very fulfilling in doing that. I think we would also like be a lot further if we wouldn't have, let's say, some um, organizational problems right now,
Mm-hmm.
um, setting everything up properly.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think my major goal is to sell one of our brands in the
Mm.
future. maybe in 2 3 years, make an exit, and then uh, maybe also like building again or being like in consulting for
Hmm.
brand owners. So yeah.
And from my side, knowing what you guys have, like, I mean, the whole past, right? And seeing the consistency. I mean, you literally like quote certain things from the training, right, which shows how diligent you are with going through the training, right? Because there's many things that at this point you don't know, right? Over time they kind of like become obvious or the second nature, right? But you keeping your minds open, right, that you don't know certain things. Because sometimes people join our program, and I know other people that have programs as well, and most people just don't take it seriously enough, right? They just like join and they expect everything to happen by miracle, by accident, right? Without like being diligent about every step of the process, right? Learning different things, learning first of all the mindset behind like how this business works, right? Because if you understand the mindset, if you understand the logic, then you can figure out if some things go wrong, what to do in those particular situations and how to fix it, right? Because as you said, the business is a constant kind of like it's constant troubleshooting, problem solving. You're looking, there's a problem happening, you have to solve it. Then soon enough there's another problem you have to soon, like once you patch this problem, there's another problem appears, and you go from one problem to another. But as you go, you grow as an entrepreneur, you also grow as a person, right? You become more patient, you have to become better leader in the process, because over time there's other people on the team that you have to lead, you have to supervise, you have to manage, you have to incentivize, you have to motivate. And so, but that is excitement part of the journey, I think. As you guys said, it's starts with striving for, like, just like not being average, right? Like striving for just doing better, right? Like someone has a good website, let me do it, like let me model it, right? But maybe make it a little bit better, right? Maybe let me take an inspiration from someone who's more successful. Let me not just copy what this dropshipper did. Let me just like copy someone like a big successful brands. Let me copy what they do, and let me learn from what they do. And so I think that constant learning process, and constant just like um open-minded, this like attitude, is the reason why you guys will absolutely destroy. And I'm yeah, we 100% will 100% will do like another interview, you guys, at 100K per month, and then we get you to 1 million a month. And
Would be great. Yeah.
and yeah, and also, I mean, I'll see you in Miami in January, right?
Hell
um
yeah.
yeah, so
Very stoked for it.
yeah, I think you'll meet our team, you'll meet the people like in the community, like, yeah, I think it's life changing. Every time people come, and then boom, they're like in a few months they double their business, triple their business, quadruple their business. So I'm looking forward to that. And for you guys, like, let's say maybe someone like in your shoes, like 1 year ago, right? There's maybe like and you guys are ambitious individuals, and even right now your business probably not where you want it to be, right? And you want it to be like at bigger numbers, bigger profits, like all of those things that it's always like work in progress. But even where you are right now, I think a lot of people would want to be in that position. So, and having the business that does even like 40K per month, I think it's very, very substantial number for most people. And so for you, like, what would you say to people that are maybe where you were in December last year, right? Or 1 year ago, when you, like, Black Friday, and you decided to pull the trigger, start e-commerce business? What would you say to those people? What would be the major kind of like guidance principles that you would share with them?
To focus on the input, not the output.
Mm.
Yeah, I think that's a quote that we literally wrote on our
Whiteboard.
whiteboard, because you cannot really, when you've just focused on, okay, I want to make 10K, I want to make 100K a month or a day or whatever. You just
Mhm.
focus on the output, that's wrong. You have to focus on the input. So how many creatives are you testing? How many ads are you running? How many landing pages did you build? How many
Just
products did you tested?
just the quality good.
So I think
Mhm.
it's important to focus on the input and not on the output. That's our
Mm.
main takeaway, pretty much. Yeah.
Very, 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 very good. Because yeah, it's something that you can fully control, right? Many times, we can control certain things. We can control, the political situation. We can control who will be chosen the president, right? There's wars being started in different countries, right? There's prices on gas increasing. We can increase that. Like, we don't have the pipe, we can't regulate that, right? Many things are happening that outside of our control, and most people are spending most of their lives frustrated about those things and trying to impact those things, right? And so that's on the, and instead of focusing on the input and what they can change to change their output, where, let's say, they go to the gas station and they don't care how much gasoline costs, like, can cost like 100 euros, right? Hey, here's credit card. And so, so I think there is a, yeah, it's such a good point. And also, I mean, that relates to the point that we discussed previously, where you focus on that, as you said, like making 10K per month, 100K per month. Usually, I mean, I've been through those stations myself, so I can speak from the experience. It's like, you get there, right? And unless and that is a good driver that can drive you to kind of like to do something, and kind of like push for those numbers. And there's nothing wrong with having particular numbers in mind that you're looking for, to achieve. But then you also have to readjust those numbers. Let's say you hit 100K per month, you have to very like quickly readjust the bigger numbers and identify the inputs that you have to do from your side in order to achieve those new outputs, right? Because what will happen, and I've had this in my career, that how specific I want to do, like 1 million, 10 million, 20, 50, like. And so then you get to those numbers, and you like don't readjust the new inputs that you have to, like, what kind of person you would have to become to even operate that business, what kind of like leader you'd have to become, like, to attract the right people that would help me to build the business to from this level to this level. And those are very kind of like those could be quite different things that what you have done to achieve to this level. And so but yeah, comes down to the inputs that you have to do from your side that are fully in your control, what you can do on a day-to-day basis to achieve the goals that you want. And at the beginning, yeah, it's like, it's very simple. Like, for you guys watching, it's creatives, it's landers. I mean, as long as you identify the right product, that product that has sufficient skill potential, that a lot of people have a problem with that particular solution that you're selling, then it's about creatives, and it's about like your funnel, like analyzing those numbers and being good with copy, with the research, understanding your customers, which is the conversion, and then being good with the creative, right, which is the visual part, how you demonstrate it, whether you keep attention, whether you know how to keep attention. Those two things, you master those, you are on your path to having that big success, like at least initially. And then you'd have to readjust and learn some other skills to get it to even higher levels. Guys, it's been tremendous. I know I probably talked more than I should have. I try to kind of like give people more context on different things, but I appreciate you joining me, and I'm looking forward to seeing you at 100K per month. It's, again, not about like, you guys know what you need to do and you're doing it consistently. You guys are rock stars. And I'll see you guys at 100K per month. Hopefully, I mean, if we could get it done by January, it would be amazing. So hopefully we can get it done. If not, it's okay. But 100K per month and 1 million per month. Because just seeing how you guys see business, and you're not just like, hey, let's make this money and let's go blow it, right? It's more like, how to build a good business, how to become, how to be a builder, right? And as you said, build those things in the process, like really enjoying the building process, and that's where the journey, kind of like all of the pleasures and long-term success comes from. So thank you so much for joining me today, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you, Thomas. Thank you, Michelle. Instagram. We will disconnect. Yeah. So I'll choose someone to for a book. So breakthrough advertising, comment again, and DM me, and we'll choose one person to send a book. And yeah, how do you guys have like Instagram? People can follow, people can connect with you.
Yeah, Thomas Collar 14,
Should we write in
or
the
should
chat?
we?
Yeah. If you can, and yeah, we'll share it with, or sure, we'll add it on YouTube.
Not sure if you got anything.
I
Oh
think
yeah,
it's
if you can
fine.
share in WhatsApp chat, and so our team can add on YouTube.
Oh yeah,
Yep,
of course.
perfect.
So we'll do it. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I definitely seen some entrepreneurs from Germany also joining us. So maybe you guys will meet some. It's sometimes these things are so random. Like sometimes you meet like, oh wow, just person can be like living 10 minutes away, and that person has or knows something that you want to know, or something that, and then you connect, and it's yeah. I've seen so many cases like that.
I
So
mean, it's even like it was surprising to even like getting into BBA because we just randomly watched Ed World, the conference.
uh-huh.
You were speaking. We didn't know you, but you were giving away so much value.
Uh-huh.
So we followed you on IG, and you were again like giving away so much value. So we had to join BBA.
Actually,
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to continue serving you guys, and yeah, have helping you to achieve not just business success, but also yeah, just kind of like evolve, transcend, get those skills, and because yeah, that's a whole pleasure. I think that's a whole pleasure in that process of growth.
yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
All
thank you.
right, all right, Instagram. I'll see you, and yeah, see you soon. All right, and here we